welcome to Above Replacement Radio. I am your host, Chris Gianta. You know what Christy Mathewson wasn't worried about? SIERA. When you're thinking about Pedro Siriaco, I mean, the only one that can compete is maybe Hannes Wagner's 1908 season. Over there on the other side of the screen is Daniel Kern.
Like, if we just clip together every time we've talked about him on other people's profiles, we've done a Mickey Cochran episode.
I can't get past Rabbit Marinville. It's not necessarily Hall of Fame. It's not necessarily above average, but we can guarantee you we are better than just the standard replacement level college sophomore.
And welcome to Above Replacement Radio. We're talking baseball kind of whenever. I'm your host, Chris Gianta. Over there on my actual right is Daniel Curran. How you doing, Daniel?
Chris, I'm doing extremely well today. It was a lot of people thought about football yesterday, but we had some baseball history go into the books yesterday, which was very awesome to see, in the Padres-Dodgers game specifically.
Yeah, I mean, when you see history being made in this way, you never know the exact day, but you know it's coming, and finally it was able to happen, and we were able to see a specific right-handed pitcher go into baseball immortality.
That's right. Very few people have done it. A lot of people were wondering when it was going to get done because, like you said, you knew it was coming. We had been leading up to this moment. He had been progressing really well in the recent past with his performance with the team that he was acquired from within the last year plus.
Yeah. And
it happened yesterday.
Yeah, so, for those unaware, obviously, we have to preface these things because not everybody's completely up to date, and we understand that as the regular season is winding down. Right-handed pitcher for the Padres, Austin Adams, first pitcher since 1922 to have at least 23 hit by pitches, but the rate at which he is plunking these batters is quite amazing, as he has done it in 48 2/3 innings pitched. The next lowest amount of innings it took to get to 23 hit by pitches was 161 2/3 innings pitched. Right. He is on another level in terms of hit by pitch rate.
Yeah, I mean, no one does it like Adams. We have truly never seen anything like this, and it's something that you're gonna remember. We're gonna be talking about for the rest of the time. The incredible Austin Adams 2021, and he's 30 years old, which seems kind of weird considering where he's at in his career. He was a kind of a lifelong minor leaguer. He was acquired in a last trade deadline in 2020, where he went from the Mariners to the Padres, and he's been really taking on a new role for San Diego this year. How about this, Chris? He only had 2 career hit by pitches when his career started in 2017 going into this year, and now he's at 25.
Yeah, I mean, this is the type of growth that and we're still on our way up. I mean, how many more guys can Austin Adams hit in a season? It just keeps going on up.
Well, we have another 3 weeks, and let's say Austin Adams were to pitch in 6-7 more games this season. We might, dare I say, we could see 30.
Yeah.
It certainly isn't likely, but with the way he's going recently, I think he's hit 5 batters in the month of September. I mean, don't tell me the odds.
Yeah, this is you can compare it to, well, I mean, I guess he's already broken the record, so it's not exactly like the chase of 98, but it's like I don't even know what to. It's maybe it's like when Ricky Henderson broke the stolen base record. It's like, how much more is he going to be able to get? He's probably going to be able to get to 1,000. Maybe can he get to 1,500? He ended up going to 1,400. How far is Austin Adams going to take this record?
It's like when we were hoping Stanton would get to 60 home runs in 2017. We were like, how close is he going to get? Can he get there? He got to 59, obviously. Can we see Austin Adams get to 30? What's your thoughts?
I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough journey. I hate to be a pessimist, but I think he will not get to 30 hit by pitches.
That is fair. Maybe 25 would be a more reasonable pace.
Yeah. I think he might get to 26.
But let's not forget who we're talking about here.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
There's the many athletes that you just can never doubt no matter what. Tom Brady is one of them. Michael Jordan was one of them. Austin Adams. You can't doubt Austin Adams' ability to hit batters.
Yeah, he just keeps on coming through day in and day out of that Padres bullpen and just, putting baseballs on players, and he's the best. He's the best at that in the league. Also, another thing that happened in that game, Max Scherzer got his 3,000th strikeout.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was nice, and he got an immaculate inning.
And he almost threw a perfect game.
Yeah, he had 7 and a third perfect innings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Eric Hosmer, the guy who was his 3,000th strikeout, broke it up by hitting, I think, a double.
Yeah, definitely well-earned double. He finally launched the ball at the wrong time, in my opinion. But, big congratulations to Max Scherzer. And it's one of those milestones where it's like it's not really a celebration of his career because he's been the best pitcher in baseball since he got acquired by the Dodgers.
I think he has an 0.26 ERA over his last
5
X
starts.
amount of starts. Yeah.
Let
me check. It is very funny. Like he's in the place of his career where he's getting to these milestones, 3,000 strikeouts. He's at 189 career wins, so he's going to be at 200 soon. Like we're still talking about a multi-year deal that he's going to get in the offseason. Yeah.
It's not like the Miguel Cabrera 500th home run. It's like Max Scherzer's he's still got some more milestones to accomplish ahead of him.
It's not like we're taking these accomplishments as like an invitation to like remember the good old times. Like this is still Max. He has an 0.88 ERA with the Dodgers in 51 innings pitched.
Yeah, the fact that he got an immaculate inning on his way to the 3,000 strikeout, and that shows you everything you need to know about where he's at in his career. The 7 and a third perfect innings in that start. I mean, it shows you everything you need to know about Max Scherzer's career and where he's at.
It almost feels like his peak is still coming.
Yeah. I mean, like
it's like, hey, when Max turns this corner here, like, watch out.
Were the Nationals holding him back? Is that what we're talking about here?
His career ERA is currently at 3.14. Can we see it go below 3?
Yeah. Are we just gonna see an RJ type career? I mean, we already have one parallel for that guy, but are we just gonna see him? Are we just gonna see him keep going?
I think he just forges his own path, really.
Yeah, but I mean, when you look at when guys got like their 3,000 strikeout in recent memory, I guess Verlander did it kind of the same way Scherzer did, in that he was in a very good spot in his career.
Mm-hmm. I hope he doesn't continue on that path, though.
Yeah, definitely not. And then who's the guy before him? Oh, CC.
CC, yeah.
CC was different.
CC was a very different archetype of pitcher. He was more for longevity. Wasn't as much of a strikeout guy on a per batter basis, but
especially later in his career.
Mm-hmm. I mean, still, hey, CC's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Let's not pretend like that isn't a thing.
Oh yeah, exactly, for sure. Not putting any bad juju on him, but yeah, Scherzer. I mean, it's almost like the 3,000 strikeout is like the third thing you can talk about with Max Scherzer.
You want to know something amazing? So Max Scherzer's ERA this year, as a whole, with the Nationals and the Dodgers, is at 2.17. His career best ERA in a single season is 2.51.
So yeah, he's gonna
surpass that by a mile at age 36.
After 3 Cy Young awards, too.
Yes.
After 3 Cy Young awards.
It's also his. Let's see, where does his FIP rank? Okay, his FIP isn't as cool. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's his 6th best FIP, but you know what? I don't care.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm going to be on my phone. I'm just looking at numbers for him as well, because my Wi-Fi is not working on my computer, unfortunately. But I think there's probably some 5-start span stats you could probably get from Scherzer, as he's had. Yeah, I think. Let's look at the last 5 starts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he hasn't given up a run. He hasn't given up an earned run in his last 4 starts.
With an 0.6 FIP.
No way.
Opponents are slashing 120, 137, 160 for a 297 OPS against.
He has 41 strikeouts and 1 walk. That's
a joke.
That's a decent ratio.
Let me look at some Okay, yeah, let's see.
4 start spans.
41 strikeouts and 1 walk. Oh my god.
So yeah, like 40 plus strikeouts, less than 2 walks, no earned runs. I don't think anyone else is doing that, if I'm honest with you.
Maybe like Corbin Burns at the beginning of the season.
I still think he might have given up like 1 earned run in a 4 start span.
He probably would have. He probably gave up like 3 hits accidentally.
Yeah.
All in the same inning.
Yeah,
all below like 88 miles per hour of exit velo.
Exactly. I mean, yeah. It's ridiculous what Max Scherzer is doing right now. Like I said, the 3,000 strikeout is like the 4th thing that comes up with Max Scherzer.
Like, think about this. It was almost not even the most impressive thing he did that day.
Yeah.
He became, I believe, the second pitcher to ever have 3 immaculate innings in his career. I think it's him and Chris Sale.
Dang.
And then he became the 19th member of the 3,000 strikeout club, and then he almost became the 24th player to throw a perfect game.
Yeah.
All in the same day.
No words.
All right, let's see. I'm looking at this span here. All right, so let's go. So 4-game span. We're gonna go 25 innings pitched, zero runs. Did he give up any? Oh, he did give up an unearned run.
Yeah, he gave up an unearned
0
run.
earned runs.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go 40 plus strikeouts and 1 or less walk.
Yeah.
That's stupid. And this might take a while to load, so we'll take some time to.
Span finder can be like that. And yeah, he's thrown himself right in the like Cy Young finalist conversation too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty insane.
Like literally a few weeks ago, you were saying Walker Buehler is the NL Cy Young. He's not even the best pitcher on his own team.
Yeah,
like
now,
not even close.
Statistically, yeah, I didn't.
Ooh.
For some reason, I didn't forecast the 4 consecutive starts of no earned runs allowed for Max Scherzer.
This is a joke, man. So there is one other pitcher who has ever had this sort of span, 4-game span, 25 plus innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 40 plus strikeouts, and 1 or less walk. And it is one of Scherzer's teammates. It is Clayton Kershaw.
Ha!
That is a joke.
It's Clayton Kershaw.
You got to be kidding me, man.
Yeah, was that what, 2016? 2015.
Yeah.
I just remember he had this crazy strikeout to walk ratio one year. I think it was one
I think
of
it
the
was
years
15. 15 was like it was looked at as a down year, but it's like he actually was still really good.
Yeah, if Jake Arrieta didn't have like an ERA below 1 in the second half.
Well, and Zach Greinke was like better that year too, I think.
Oh yeah,
at least, by ERA standards. He had a 1.99 FIP in 2015.
Yeah. I mean, it just shows you where the Dodgers are at, and
it's a joke.
They're still second place for some reason.
It would be very funny if the Giants still just fend them off the entire season and likely take them down in the playoffs. I don't mean likely they would beat them. I mean likely they would face each other in the playoffs.
Yeah, right. I mean, 2.5. How are the
like
Dodgers?
Scherzer's got to pitch the wild card game now, assuming they don't win the division, which they very much could. I think they're only 2.5 games out at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, and if the Padres are able to do better, then they're facing the Giants.
Well,
a bunch.
the Padres, I was going to say the Padres marathon of facing the Giants starts tonight.
Yep, it does. It does.
Virtually every day. They have 3 more series against them.
Yeah. So yeah, Max Scherzer is just absolutely ridiculous. As many of you probably already knew, he is just lighting the world on fire in these past 4 starts. And to add to all that, 3,000 strikeouts he just accomplished this past Sunday. Very good, and it actually struck up an idea where, we've had a lot of great single game pitching performances this year. We've had, probably before we get into this, we should talk about what happened on Saturday. We had another no-hitter.
Yeah, we did.
We did
have another no-hitter.
Corbin Burns went 8. Josh Hader went 1. Only 1 base runner allowed total. One of the most dominant no-hitters, or you could argue the most dominant no-hitter this year. At least, definitely combined Just a very, Corbin Burns was doing what he's been doing pretty much all year.
Yeah, he pitched 8 innings, 0 hits, 0 runs allowed, 1 walk, and 14 strikeouts. The reason he was pulled early was because he had 115 pitches.
Yeah.
Corbin Burns could be the Cy Young winner. There's certainly a case to be made. I think he's a 1.48 FIP this season, which is just, once again, a joke.
Yeah.
I think the only person that's ever put up a better FIP in a single season was Pedro Martinez in 1999.
Yeah, or at least in the live ball era.
Yeah. Shout out to, Tim Keefe?
Yeah, Tim Keefe was probably all over that. I think, I don't know. I wonder what Walter Johnson's best FIP was.
Well, there's a website where we could look it up, actually.
Oh, what? Really?
It's called baseball-reference.com.
I forgot my encyclopedia today, so I'm glad we have that.
His career best FIP, 1910. He had a 1.38 FIP.
Nice.
Which is literally 1 point lower than Pedro's.
Yeah, quality.
Literally a single point. And also, his second best was a 1.6. So, Corbin Burns' best FIP. His FIP right now would be Walter Johnson's second best FIP in his career.
That's great. Shout out to the dead ball era.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to 110 career shutouts.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So yeah, Corbin Burns just looking like he had all year. The Indians' expected batting average on the day was 0.94.
Yep.
Which I think is the low. I think that's the lowest on any of the no hitters this year.
It has to be. They only had 2 batted balls with a expected batting average above 300, and they were coincidentally both, I think, like 520 and 610.
Yeah.
The 521 was that catch that Lorenzo Cain made to end the 8th inning.
And what's going to help the expected batting average is the fact that how many strikeouts did Hader have?
I think 1.
So there were 15 strikeouts in the game. So
I believe so. Yeah, because that does
help.
Because the expected batting average on a strikeout is 0.
Is a 0. Yeah. There's no 0-10s on strikeouts.
Yeah. There's an OBP, not a.
Yep.
It's very low though. I mean, it's like below. It's probably below like 0.50 at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Probably worse.
So, yeah, Burns, went 115 pitches, 8 innings, 14 strikeouts. And Hader came in, had a 1-2-3 inning. And, yeah, I mean, and Cleveland's been no-hit 3 times. But
4 if you count the Rays combined no-hitter in a 7-inning game.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, which, that's, I wouldn't count that. But they became the first team in baseball history to have no hits in 4 of their games in a season.
Yeah.
Which, that obviously is counting a 7-inning no-hitter, which... it was a combined no-hitter too, which is like the ultimate.
Yeah.
I know. I'm not surprised that you forgot about it because I did too. I was like, when I went into that search in the 8th inning, I was like, all right, how many teams have been no-hit 3 times in a season? And Cleveland was already there. I was like, oh yeah, there was that other time.
But who else got no-hit 3 times in a season?
The 1906 someone else. I don't remember. It was some team from 1906.
So yeah,
maybe it was the Browns.
So they were
but don't quote me on that.
They were already the first team in the live ball era.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were already the first team in the live ball era to have that.
To have no hits in a game, not to be no hit, because that doesn't count.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah. So yeah, I guess that's a segue into the. It's a segue into an idea that both of us had. Best pitching performances of the year.
I love how. Oh yeah. Let's do it.
Because, sorry if that was a little awkward transition. As someone we're back in. By the way, we're back where this thing started.
Kind of.
Kind of.
We're in the next room over.
Yeah, we're in the same building as where this thing started, and
I mean, really, technically, it started in your dorm room freshman year.
Right.
We recorded for like half a second.
Yeah, and then the club president texted, and we were like, "Oh,
I guess we could just go down now."
Yeah, we can do that. But yeah, windows are back, so we're gonna be waving hi to people that we know,
passerbys,
and the president of Birthplace Studios just walked by, so we had to, we were obliged to, otherwise we're kicked out of the studio.
Yes.
But yeah, So if there's any awkward pauses, we're probably waving to somebody.
I really wish there was some way we could get a hold of our first ever show that we didn't hear.
Oh yeah. If
October 1st, 2019.
yeah, because
I still have a picture of the prep sheet that you printed out and gave to me at the dining hall that day.
Yeah,
Because we knew like nothing about each other. We were just like, oh, he likes baseball. Yeah, we could talk baseball.
yeah.
And you came in with this prep sheet. You were like, Max Scherzer starting tonight for the Nationals. He has a 5.47 ERA over his last 5 starts. I was like, oh yeah, this is it.
Yeah, because I wasn't like too out there with like whatever baseball takes. I was just kind of like quiet in my classes.
I remember
naturally.
I was like, I hope this kid like knows what like OPS is. I can explain it to him if I need to, but like like if he doesn't, I can teach him. We'll just go along with it.
It would be funny if I was just pointing out like not enough people are talking about this guy's got a 13-7 record this year. I mean, he's coming in, he's doing very well. But yeah, that's we're in the same building.
And people see him as the 4th best starter on his team.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they've got this weird.
I mean, he's
they've
better
got this
than
weird stat saying he's got a 4.77 ERA, but I don't know what that is.
He's way better than that Degrom guy.
Yeah, that Jacob Degrom, who's got
8 wins.
He was 10-9 and 11-8 in 2 consecutive years, and they gave him the award. I don't know why. But yeah, we're back where this thing kind of started. But back to the subject at hand, best pitching performances of the year. We've done our top 5. Who's your number 5 for best pitching performances of the year?
So for my number 5, I was at the game that this team played the day before this. So I missed this by a day. Zach Wheeler on August 8th. It was against the New York Mets. It was the day that they retired Roy Halladay's number, and in fitting fashion, he went out and pitched a complete game because that's what Roy Halladay would do more than anybody else in his era and more than anyone else we will ever see again. 9 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 11 strikeouts, 22 swings and misses on the day, a game score of 93. That sealed a sweep and the 8th straight win for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah, that was a very, very dominant performance. My number 5 is Spencer Turnbull's no-hitter. He had 9 strikeouts, and the Mariners had a 129 expected batting average against, which, out of all the no-hitters, I think it has the second lowest expected batting average against, and got to respect the complete game for sure, as noted. And to snake it, my number 4 is Garrett Cole versus the Astros on July 10th. This is specifically because of circumstances.
That's kind of why I put Wheeler.
Because heading into the game, the Astros had the highest OPS in the league, and he shut down that offense. 3-hit shutout, 12 strikeouts, and the Astros had a 142.
129 pitches thrown. He threw 100 on the last pitch.
Yeah, he did. Astros had a 142 expected batting average against, and yeah, he went into the ninth inning having thrown 111 pitches, and he yelled at his manager. He went out. He got the shutout, got the win in a 2-0 ball game. And it was against what at the time was ranked the best offense in baseball. So I had to give him that with the 12 strikeout performance. What is your number 4?
So my number 4, we just talked about it. It was Corman Burns on Saturday. He went 8 innings pitched, 0 hits, 0 runs, 1 walk, and 14 strikeouts, a game score of 95, and 26 swings and misses on the day. Obviously, no hits held the Cleveland offense to a 0.94 expected batting average for the game. I'm sure it was a little bit more maybe before he departed, but nonetheless, he probably kept him under 100. And for my number 3, I have a different Garrett Cole start. I have the one against the Angels that he had on September 1st of this year. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run allowed, 0 walks, and 15 strikeouts. He had an 80 game score, but what really catches my eye is that he had 32 swings and misses. That is the most that anyone has had in a start this year. And keep in mind, he went 7 innings. He didn't even pitch the 8th or 9th. And it's also tied for the second most swings and misses anyone has had in a game in the pitch tracking era.
Wow.
Yeah. So Garrett Cole against the Angels, that was an incredible start.
So yeah, I should have kept track of swings and misses for mine, but my number 3 is Corbin Burns against Cleveland on this past Saturday. 8 innings, 14 strikeouts, 1 walk, no hits. Expected batting average below 100, I would assume, because the only batted ball Hader gave up had like a 270 expected batting average, so it's not something that probably brought it down that much. So yeah, I think Corbin Burns held them to an expected batting average below 100, which is very hard to do.
I think we have the same top 2. Doesn't have to be in the same order, but I think we have the same top 2.
Probably, yeah. My number 2 is John Means' no-hitter. 12 strikeouts, and the Mariners had a 117 expected batting average against. And I think out of all the no-hitters, John Means had the lowest expected batting average against.
That has to be like one-person no-hitters, right? Because you just mentioned Cleveland had 194.
The one-person no-hitters. It was the out of the one-person no-hitters, had the lowest expected batting average against. And 12 strikeouts, no walks as well, only 1 base runner. So, John Means number 2. What do you got for number 2?
I also have John Means' no-hitter. It was on May 5th this year against the Mariners. He had 26 swings and misses and a 99 game score. That is the highest game score in the history of the Baltimore Orioles / St. Louis Browns, regular season, postseason. Probably the single greatest pitching performance that franchise has ever seen. I will die on that hill. 9 innings pitched, no hits, no runs, no walks, 12 strikeouts. The only base runner was a drop third strike. It could have been a perfect game other than that. And the number 1 best start of the year as of Monday, September 13th, was Jacob Degrom on April 23rd. Against the Washington Nationals, he had 29 swings and misses, a game score of 98, and he had 9 innings pitched, 2 hits allowed, 0 runs, 0 walks, and 15 strikeouts.
That is also my number 1.
Yeah.
Jacob Degrom versus the Nationals, April 23rd. 2-hit shutout, 15 strikeouts, and the Nationals had a 100 flat expected batting average against. And that's actually the funniest thing about this performance is when you go into the exit velocity list for that game and you type in Degrom, Degrom hitting has the highest expected batting average. 2 of the top 3 highest expected batting averages from that game. That means that the expected batting averages on
each individual batted ball.
On each individual batted ball, the balls that Degrom hit were better than the ones that he allowed for the most part. And he had 3 of the top 6 expected batting averages on his name. So that means the Nationals were not getting any great contact on him. I mean, a 100 expected batting average on the day. We'll say that. And 15 strikeouts, and you got to give respect to the complete game, obviously. So those, that's just like our own little clarification to see where we're at, because we've seen a ton of great pitching performances, but we had to see like what we thought were the best of the year. That's what we got for best pitching performances. Do we want to get into players to highlight?
Do we want to talk about the Yankees-Mets game from last night?
Oh yeah. I didn't catch most of it.
It was a great. So it was a Sunday night baseball game, obviously. Yankees-Mets at Citi Field, the Subway Series. Really, I mean, most of the action happened in I believe it was the top of the 7th. Giancarlo Stanton hits a 2-run home run off Brad Hand to tie the game, 6-6, and then as he's rounding second, Bias starts chirping at him, and they start going at it as Stanton's rounding the bases, which is you see that you see highlights of that occasionally in the minors or in random clips. You don't see that in the major leagues ever. So that was really cool. And then Francisco Lindor, the 3 home run game, that was such a perfect stage. It's the face of the team. It's against the Yankees on Sunday Night Baseball, 3 home run game, go ahead home run to win the game. That was just a really cool stage for Francisco Lindor to have his night.
Oh yeah, and I mean it was so important for him because of the stigma around. I mean, the whole thing around Lindor in Queens, ever since he signed the contract, has been pretty negative as he's underperformed a little bit this year, and the thumbs down thing also didn't help because he was participating in that. But now he finally has showcased a reason for Mets fans to really like him, as he had a three home run game against the Yankees on Sunday Night Baseball is going to get any Mets fan to like you. So it was a big kind of redemption moment for Lindor's first year. Maybe they don't make the playoffs, but this is a moment that Lindor knows he has for the 2021 season.
He and Bias are just better together.
Yeah.
Like, they are much better as teammates than they are apart. And I think the Mets should really consider that when Bias goes into free agency this offseason.
Right, exactly. As, both of them have been doing pretty well as of late.
One thing that I'm very proud of that I never addressed to you is that neither of us ever mentioned Francisco Lindor on Slightly Alarming, even though we had the easiest opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
Which I know that we try to keep it under the radar, and that very much would not have been as such. But, like, we both easily could have done it, and we opted not to.
Yeah. It was all, because it was a thing where too many people were talking about it.
Yeah.
It would be like if we did Shohei Ohtani as a
how about that? Yeah.
It's like, did you guys know he's
pitching and hitting?
Yeah. And if we compare this to Babe Ruth in 1919, you've seen that graphic a million times already, probably, if you've watched the broadcast. I'm glad both of us didn't do that. But yeah, he's had his showcase moment with the Mets thus far, and yeah, the Yankees are in fourth place in the AL East now.
Yeah, they are. That's wild.
I guess
Toronto is like, I know they played Baltimore this weekend, but still, they scored 42 runs over 3 games played.
Yeah, we should get into like this. There was a big change in the standings over this past weekend.
Quite a significant change.
As the Yankees were not doing a lot of winning, and the Blue Jays have just been
an
on a
update.
tear.
Also, the Yankees are losing 4-0 in the first inning currently against the Minnesota Twins.
Oh, it must be a makeup game?
It is a makeup game, very much so. Yeah, Luis Gil has allowed 2 home runs, one to Jorge Polanco and one to Miguel Sano.
All right. Well, Yankees not helping themselves.
This is Yankees-Twins. We all know that.
Yeah.
This is historically speaking, this is a very one-sided matchup. So
yeah,
you can't put it past the Yankees to come back from this. But I mean, not the start that you want to have coming off of how you've played. How have they played? What's their record since their win streak ended? I know it's like really bad.
Probably because I just remember they dropped the last 2 against Oakland, and it was like, oh, well.
And then they lost the series to the Angels. They lost the series to the Orioles.
Yeah,
you can't be doing that.
That was a new low.
Yeah, and then they lost the series to the Mets. All right, let me see. Since August 28th, that's the day that the streak ended. So since the win streak ended, the Yankees' 13-game win streak, they are 3-12. Holy cow!
Wow.
It
took a second to hit me.
That is the worst record in baseball. Worst winning percentage in baseball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I was pretty into like the Yankees being back, and wow. And we kind of called it. I think last episode we talked about how Toronto was like the biggest.
Toronto was 14-2 over that same time period.
Yeah, Toronto was the most dangerous out of anyone that was outside of the playoff picture in the AL. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, they're coming up right now. They're, how it says it on the MLB app is the Red Sox and Blue Jays are tied, but they have Toronto above Boston.
Which is very weird.
I guess they would host the wild card game if the season
we
today.
talked about a Yankees-Red Sox wild card game and how we feel like home field advantage determines that and how the Yankees would most likely win if it's at Yankee Stadium.
Yep.
Nobody is going into Toronto and beating the Blue Jays this year. In a one-game playoff, no.
Maybe if you have 3 opportunities, you get one.
Yeah, but you're not doing that in a one. Like, that crowd, first of all, like, for all that they've been through, they didn't have their team for longer than anybody else. They're going to have Robbie Ray on the mound for that game. They have They have the best offense in baseball. I think we can safely say that.
Yeah.
Like, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is heating up. Danny Jansen is heating up. Teoscar Hernandez is heating up. And then Vlad Jr. is like, he's almost playing second fiddle to the offense, like the rest of the offense right now, which is just how crazy hot everyone else is.
Right. So, for reference, we have Blue Jays and Red Sox tied in the wild card as the wild card teams, Yankees are 1 game out, Oakland 3 out, and Seattle is also 3 out.
Mm-hmm.
And then strength of schedule remaining, which is pretty important at this stage of the year. Toronto has the 13th toughest schedule remaining. Yankees have the 20th. Red Sox have the 29th. 29th toughest. So they have the
second easiest. Okay.
So just something to consider. Red Sox have 6 more games against Baltimore. Yankees have 3 more against Baltimore. Toronto has 3 more against Baltimore.
It's just who gets the feed off Baltimore.
Yeah, Toronto has 6 against the Rays. The Red Sox have none against the Rays, right? Yeah. Yankees have 3 against the Rays.
They have 3 against the Red Sox as well.
Red Sox are in a decent position, at least strength of schedule wise. Better than I thought maybe a couple weeks back. But yeah, that's interesting. I mean, really, like at this point, how do we see this playing out?
I do really think home field advantage is going to be everything. I think, honestly, Chris, I see Toronto hosting.
Mm-hmm.
I really do see it. Like the way that they've been playing right now, the way that their rotation as a whole has just had a revelation this year. Robbie Ray, Steven Matz, Rio has struggled a little bit here and there, but you know what? Like he doesn't necessarily need to be that guy anymore, which is I think big on him, and I think it could be better for him going into the playoffs. The Barrios obviously has been what he's expected to be.
Mm-hmm. Can I say a non-analytical thing right now?
Go ahead.
The Blue Jays seem to like each other.
Yeah.
The Yankees, I don't see that in the dugout as much as I see the Blue Jays.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's tough for us to say because, like, obviously we're not there. Yeah, we don't know. But
we're not even
I feel like the way
members.
they play on the field does reflect the way they feel about each other. Like that seems to be a thing. The Blue Jays are, I mean, like they're firing on all cylinders right now. Like they're like, what's the their bullpen is like the consensus biggest weakness, but how worried really are you about that holding them back?
Yeah, not too worried.
Like Jordan Romano is still a very good closer. They have a couple guys in there who can shut it down when needed.
I'm worried because it's all relative too. Like I'm worried about the Blue Jays bullpen, but I'm also worried about the Red Sox bullpen and the Yankees bullpen.
Yeah.
They haven't been the best as of late.
The Blue Jays really have 2 particularly strong bullpen pitchers. Everyone else is kind of meh, but I mean, like right now, I'm not holding the Blue Jays back that much because of their bullpen.
Yeah, I mean it's hard not to be confident in the Blue Jays right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I already said what was it like 2 or 3 weeks ago that the A's were going to be sticking around.
Yeah,
I can back off that now.
I think you have to. I mean, they already haven't.
I just don't want to be wrong once again. But I don't know. I feel like the Yankees are gonna bounce back. It's a matter of when, and if it's going to be
But are
too
they
late.
Though?
Here's the thing. I'm very unsure on the Yankees. They're so inconsistent.
Yeah, like it's been a complete roller coaster all year. Like there's some graphic where it's like the Yankees like first 15 games, next 30 games, the next 28 games, the next 15 games, the next it just keeps going up and down and up and down and up and down. They're on the downswing right now. They need to get back as soon as they can because like this race is only going to get more competitive. If Boston starts winning and if Toronto keeps playing that way, the Yankees are going to have to play at a really, really high level to make the playoffs because the division's out. Like Tampa Bay has the division wrapped up.
Yeah.
Like they're 9 games up. I don't really care. They're going to be fine. They can cruise to the finish. I mean, they can cruise to the number 1 seed in the American League if they really wanted to.
Yeah, they've got to go 11-8 to get a 100-win season. Yeah, they'll probably get a 100-win season too and get that top spot in the American League, just amazingly. I'm a little more confident in the Red Sox position because they're facing Baltimore 6 times.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice to see from a Red Sox perspective. They're also
you got to take like at least 5 or 6.
They're also playing the Nationals 3 times. I don't know if
and that's on the last, and not only that, but like that's to end the season. They play the Nationals, so like that team's I mean.
They're gonna play the way they have.
I don't know
the trade deadline.
How much are the Nationals gonna care about playing spoiler to a team that's out of their league, literally.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know.
if it's Baltimore, then sure, maybe there is a little bit more of a fire to them because they would like to beat a team in their division and get them out of the playoffs just for another team in their division to get in. But, like, I don't know. How much are the Nationals really going to care about that? It'll also be Kyle Schwarber's homecoming, I guess, even though he played all of 3 months there.
Yeah.
We will never forget June of 2021.
Yeah, so Toronto faces Tampa Bay 6 times, but they faced Minnesota 7 times. Surprising that they haven't played them at all yet.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I think a lot of it is also going to have to do with the Red Sox-Yankees matchups, Blue Jays-Yankees matchups, how that goes down. Yeah, I mean, I have no idea what's going to happen. I can confidently say that.
Yep.
That's
I think the thing you can say with the most confidence is that the Blue Jays are going to make the playoffs. It has to be, right?
With the most confidence?
Like, if there was one thing you had to put out there and swear by it among the AL wildcard takes that you have, would it be Blue Jays make the playoffs?
That's a good question.
George Springer could be coming back.
I think George Springer
I think he is already
I think he's
back.
already in there.
Yeah.
Randall
Grichuk hit a home run off a lefty this week.
Yeah. And I'm not someone who's biased or anything, at least on this show, but the Red Sox strength of schedule is promising. I like where they're. I would say I'm a little more confident in the Red Sox, not because of their momentum, not because of their roster, but because of what they have left. Because the average winning percentage of the opponents they're facing is .438, which is pretty low. So I'll say Red Sox for now, but it will probably change in the next 3 days.
Yep.
As this AL wild card keeps getting crazier. Yeah. So I guess that leads into players to highlight. Now for we got Monday, September 13th, 2021 edition of. So who do you got for us today?
So we talked very briefly about the Mets today. Francisco Lindor, Javier, he and Bias are better together. So let's talk about the Bias portion of it. Since the thumbs down incident, Javier Bias is slashing .417, .472, .750 for a 12.22 OPS. That is since August 31st, the thumbs down incident. His 229 weighted runs created plus leads the National League. He also has a 153 weighted runs created plus since joining the Mets, which leads the team in that time frame. And for reference, when Yoenis Cespedes played for the Mets in 2015 and universally was looked at as one of the best transactions that franchise ever made, he had a 156 weighted runs created plus with them. That is only 3 points higher than what Bias has done in the time that he's been there. So they're playing virtually on the same level when you really look at it that way. Bias also leads the National League in expected batting average with a 368 and expected slugging with a 699 in this time. His barrel rate is up 6% in this stretch. His average exit velocity is up 2 miles per hour. And his launch angle, Chris, is down 5 degrees. That is substantial difference between the two. Before this stretch, 11.3% of his batted balls were above 45 degrees. You never want that. Yeah. And in this stretch, it's 2.8%. That is the tie for the fourth lowest among the 165 hitters with 25 plus batted balls in this time. And some of the players with a higher rate of batted balls being above 45 degrees include, but are not limited to, Nicky Lopez, David Fletcher, and Luis Ariz.
Yeah.
Javier Bias is keeping it on the ground better than those guys.
Yep. And he's hitting line drives.
Yep.
I'm glad this doesn't happen very often, but we do have a consensus here. It hasn't happened in a while. I think it
happened with Brian Reynolds.
Yeah, it happens a little more with slightly alarmings because I feel like there's less options. Mm-hmm. But I feel like a consensus overall this year has happened maybe I think three.
It's been twice.
I think it's been Brian Reynolds, Cody Bellinger.
Oh, well, that was a slightly alarming.
Chris Bryant.
I thought you were just talking about how about that.
But yeah, how about that? This is only the second time. Mm-hmm. Javier Bias. I chose a 10-game sample. I didn't go with the storyline because the last 10 games has represented him very, very well. In his last 10 games, hitting 486 with a 1428 OPS. Out of 175 qualifiers, that ranks first in average, fifth in on-base percentage, fourth in slugging, third in OPS, and first in F-WAR. Before the span, his strikeout rate was 35.4%, and in the span, his strikeout rate is down to 22%, 13 percentage point difference, or a little over that as well. Before the span, his average exit velocity was 89.9 miles per hour, and in the span, it is 93.8 miles per hour. Before the span, his barrel rate was 12.9%, and in the span, his barrel rate is 25%, almost double. And before the span, this has to do with a little bit with the launch angle point you were getting across. Before the span, his line drive rate was 17.6%, but in the span, it is 32.1%. It's almost jumped up 15 percentage points, and it's a thing where, like, sometimes guys just do a little better, but maybe here there might be a little mechanical adjustment that Javier Bias made because, I mean, the line drive difference is very big, at least in this 10-game stretch. So Javier Bias, from both of us, getting a...
I feel like anytime you have a 10-plus game stretch where your OPS is better than that of Barry Bonds in 2004, and you're not getting a lot of national attention, that should be a 100% how about that rate.
Yes, exactly.
That's bad on our part if we let that happen from here on out.
Yeah, we had to be on top of that. It's like it's like if in basketball if two guys are going for the same rebound, it's not the worst thing. It's better than no guys getting the rebound.
Yeah.
So yeah, now we go from the highs to the lows, talking about players or subjects that have been underperforming for our Monday's September 13th, 2021 edition of
Slightly Alarming.
Who do you got for us today?
So I'm looking at a guy who was a 2021 All-Star who hasn't performed the same way since, and even really before that. Yusei Kikuchi is 1-5 with a 5.93 ERA and 5.26 FIP in his last 12 starts dating back to July 7th. And, I know that we're an analytical podcast, and the Mariners are an analytical team, so they're not looking at his 1-5 record, and nor should they. But there is something to be said about a guy having one win in 12 starts and still being put out there every fifth day.
Right.
That, there is something to be said about that. Both his 5.93 ERA and 5.26 FIP are the third worst among 50 qualifiers since then. He does have a 3.56 BABIP against, which leads all qualifiers, but he's walking 4.21 batters per nine. So, if you could have 1,000 BABIP against, but you're not doing yourself any favors if you're walking that many guys. Yeah. His hard hit rate in this span is 54.1%. Easily the highest of the 143 pitchers with at least 100 batted balls against. And lastly, opponents are slashing 294, 376, 536, 912 in this time. I don't think a lot of people really realize how crazy bad a 912 OPS is when it's opponents against the pitcher. Because, if a batter has a 912 OPS, that means, that guy with a 912 OPS can only come up one out of every 9 times. But, I mean, this is every guy who steps up against Kikuchi for 2+ months with a 912 OPS. It's essentially like someone of that caliber is coming up every single time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's like he's facing the NL All-Star team every time he goes out there, and yeah, he's not doing the best. Yusei Kikuchi is getting a
Slightly Alarming.
Was he ever how about that, or
I don't know. I talked about him briefly, but I never did a full.
Yeah. So no freeze over for Yusei. My slightly alarming is actually a very similar type of pitcher, a lefty soft throwing guy, Dallas Keuchel, who I would say you could argue has been slightly alarming all year. In his last 4 starts, he has a 12.89 ERA in 14 2/3 innings pitched. Out of 199 pitchers with 10+ innings pitched in this span, his ERA is the highest. He is getting unlucky, I will say. The FIP ERA difference is very significant.
Which is surprising considering he strikes out like 3 guys per 9.
Yeah. I think it's just he's not giving up as many home runs as a guy with a 12 ERA would. But even with him getting unlucky, he still has the 8th highest expected WOBA against out of 113 pitchers with 250-plus pitches in this span. So he's still, even the expected stats, he's not doing very well at all. And throughout the year as a whole, he has a 6.10 expected ERA. So Dallas Keuchel, clearly not the same guy that he used to be, and this has been emphasized over the past 4 stars with a 12.89 ERA, and he is getting a
Slightly alarming.
So
I'm genuinely curious to see if he makes the playoff roster.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like you could make a. I mean, like they have
4 better starters.
Yeah, like they have Lynn, they have Cease, they have
Rodon, Giolito.
Yeah, Giolito.
Is Giolito off the IL yet?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
So yeah, they had all 3 of those guys on the IL, but then
I can check.
They're back now.
Or at least if he's not, he will be by the time the playoffs start.
Okay, that's a good sign. You'd hate to
Nope, he's still in the he's still in the IL, but I mean he'll be back by the time the playoffs start.
What was the specific injury?
You're gonna make me look this up too, Chris.
I'm sorry. I'll get my I gotta get my laptop situation fixed.
Strained hamstring.
Yeah, he'll be
It's
back.
not great.
He's got to be back.
How come they haven't taken Lance Lynn off the IL yet on Fangraphs? He literally pitched the other day.
He became the most innings pitched on the IL in baseball
That
history.
makes no sense. Oh, it literally says will return on 9/12, but he's still just there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, look, it says Giolito will return tomorrow. Does that mean he's starting tomorrow? I mean, it would, but let me just check it. Oh, he doesn't say on MLB.com, but on Fangraphs it says he will return on September 14th, which is tomorrow. So
Nice. Well, that's
he's
good.
he's basically off the IL. We'll call it.
Yeah. We're saying above, from sources above replacement radio, he's off the IL pretty much. It's hilarious just seeing on the MLB app just Wainwright 15-7 with a 2.98. It's like I did not expect.
Who
this.
are you?
Yeah. Is it 2014 again? Yeah. All right. So I guess that leads into our previews of the week ahead. It starts with me. I'm looking at series to watch. Daniel will go over the day-by-day matchups. All right, we got. So yeah, as you mentioned before, we're gonna have a lot of Padres versus series.
Yep.
Giants Padres. We just will the Padres collapse, and if they do, how quickly? And if they don't, that's a very good story to watch. But they're facing the Giants in what seems to be it's either a 3 or 4 game set. Is there a game Thursday? Yeah, it's a 4-game set. So this could be a lot for the Padres. And then another series to watch is Blue Jays Rays. That starts on Tuesday night, and that will go through not Thursday. Well, I guess it's only a 2-game series then, unless they're also playing tonight. Wednesday, do they play today? Oh, they do play today. So it's a 3-game series. It starts on Monday. Sorry about that. And it's going to be a 3-game series. The Blue Jays riding a lot of momentum, but they were facing the Orioles, so let's see how they fare against the best team in the American League, record-wise at least. So yeah, that'll be fun to watch. So Blue Jays, Rays, and Giants, Padres. Who do you got for the day-by-day matchups?
So today on Monday, you have Sandy Alcantara going for the Marlins against the Nationals. You have Colin McHugh and Alek Manoah facing each other in Rays Blue Jays. I know Colin McHugh used to be a starter. I wonder if they could have him go like 5 today. That could be interesting.
Yeah, it just depends how much they like. I don't know what the training is like there. I don't know if you can just go from being a bullpen guy to throwing 5 innings. But he could probably go 3 or 4.
Yeah. You have Yu Darvish going tonight for the Padres against the Giants. You have Zach Gallen and Clayton Kershaw facing each other in Diamondbacks and Dodgers. Matchup of the night, unequivocally, comes from Cardinals-Mets. You have Adam Wainwright going against Rich Hill. I have to shout out Jessica Brand on this. She helped me out. This is the 56th game since 1901 where two pitchers in their 40s will face each other. The most recent was Blue Jays and Mets on June 18th of 2015 where it was Bartolo Colon versus R.A. Dickey.
Great.
Follow at Jessica D. Brand on Twitter. Very good sabermetrician.
There we go.
So you have on Tuesday Nathan Eovaldi going for the Red Sox against the Mariners. Wade Miley going for the Reds against the Pirates. You have the all-Peralta matchup in Brewers-Tigers, Freddie versus Willie.
Wow.
Yeah, you have Garrett Cole going for the Yankees against the Orioles. That is a must-win game for them. I don't care what the standings look like going into tomorrow. You have Drew Rasmussen versus Jose Barrios in Rays Blue Jays. Marcus Stroman going for the Mets against the Cardinals. John Gray going for the Rockies against the Braves in Atlanta against Touki Toussaint. Zach Greinke going for the Astros against the Rangers in Arlington. Lucas Giolito allegedly coming off the IL to face the Angels on Tuesday. You have Anthony DeSclafani facing the Padres for the Giants. You have Frankie Montas facing the Royals for the A's. You have Tony Gonsolin facing the Diamondbacks for the Dodgers. Matchup of the night comes in Game 1 of a doubleheader between Guardians and Twins. Tristan McKenzie versus Joe Ryan, who carried a no-hitter into the late innings in his last start. That's a guy you should be watching for because he is very underrated. So now going into Wednesday, last day on the docket for right now. Not a whole lot of good matchups in general, but a couple good starters going. Marco Gonzalez will be going for the Mariners against the Red Sox.
Very good trending pitcher.
Yes. Brandon Woodruff will be going for the Brewers against the Tigers. John Means will be going for the Orioles against the Yankees. Ranger Suarez will be going for the Phillies against the Cubs. Huascar Yanoa will be going for the Braves against the Rockies. Cal Quantrill will be going for the Guardians against the Twins. Jose Urquidy will be going for the Astros against the Rangers. Sean Manaea will be going for the A's against the Royals. Joe Musgrove will be going for the Padres against the Giants. Julio Urias will look for win number 18 against the Diamondbacks this year. Matchup of the night comes from Rays Blue Jays, Michael Wacha versus Robbie Ray. Wacha has pitched reasonably well over his last couple starts in short innings in his starts, and Robbie Ray is obviously in the Cy Young conversation.
Yep, exactly. So that does it for
it does.
Above Replacement Radio. First time in this building.
It is so hot in this room.
It truly is. It makes me yearn for winter, really.
No, I can never do that.
I mean, yeah, I hate winter, but
this is still better than winter.
Yeah. Every time I'm in here, I just wish it was 5 degrees cooler at least in the building.
We should just bring fans next time, even though they'll be making noise in the background. Who cares?
Yeah, that would be nice. I don't. And this equipment is good enough. I don't think they would really pick up that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a fan in my room.
I do too. We'll just bring them.
That'll be part of the package. So we hope you enjoyed this one. If you want to follow us on social media, follow me on Twitter at Chris_Gianta. Follow Daniel on both Twitter and Instagram at Daniel_Curran, and follow the show Instagram at Above Replacement Radio for all the show needs and whatever stat graphics if you like that, or if you want to see what are top 10 top 10 players we wish we had StatCast for in a picture. Go there. So we hope you enjoyed this one, and we hope to see you on Thursday, where we are talking all the happenings in Major League Baseball once again. See you then.
With all this baseball talk, it's easy to forget about the Springfield College diving team. But they should not be forgotten, as I've heard from many people, and many is a relative term, but I've heard from many that the dive team is mad cool. In fact, that's the only thing I hear about the Springfield College dive team, is that they're mad cool. So, among all the rest of this, all this baseball talk, let us not forget about that.
This conversation is over. is over.